I want to say welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testify. Got a real good show for you all today. Sit back and relax. Today, this is a special broadcast. We're going to be talking about the issue as it relates to the Osceola School District. There are some concerns of a certain employee that was hired that may have had some type of drug problem. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, okay? So just sit tight, and we will be back shortly. Peace and love. I want to say welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testify. This is a special broadcast today. I've had a request the other day that I was supposed to have been coming on for my weekly broadcast. Um, there is a parent um, in a. She used to be a. Osceola is a hometown. She's a parent. She's concerned, and she noticed that there haven't been very much conversation going on with. I'm gonna use the word allegedly because I hadn't had no confirmation from the superintendent that this particular uh, uh, teacher or principal has been hired. So I'm going to be using that word allegedly, okay? Not the fact of saying that I don't believe he is hired, but I don't know. I don't have confirmation yet. But I do have uh, a concerned citizen, longtime resident of Osceola, Arkansas, now living in Jonesboro. And so I would have her on to speak to this issue. Uh, but first, I want to go ahead and just give you all a few little snapshots, announcements. I'm pretty sure that most of you have heard that the Osceola uh, chief of police has resigned. Um, we really don't know exactly why he resigned. We don't know. Um, Hopefully, we will learn something as the weeks go on. But I thought the police chief, uh, I think Jerry Hamilton was his name, we seem to have a pretty good working relationship, the chief and I. So I don't know what happened. Also, the interim chief who's serving now, John, I think Captain John Weldon, I think he's serving as uh, the interim police chief. I will say that probably is a good selection that they made. So we'll see what happens as we go forward. A lot of things going on in Osceola again. Want to thank everybody for their prayers and everything that reached out and helped the Berg sisters be free from the city jail. And I also want to say that there's some things going on in Mississippi County here in Blythe. There's a lot of jobs that's soon to come. They're doing a lot of training down to ANC. As a matter of fact, Corbin Court, they passed a lot of money. I think it might have been somewhere a little over $1 million or somewhere in there that they're going to be used for training. So for those of you who are unemployed, please visit ANC and get the information to try to learn what do you need to do to prepare yourself to possibly become gainfully employed when these jobs go to start rolling in. Okay, so please tap into ANC workforce program that they have down there, and they should have some information to help you. Um, I don't know if I got anything else to announce. I will say that I did get um, a link, a post today from our brother, Mr. Davis, the pickle man. He yet expanding his business. I want to say that the text that I got today, he set up a store down on the northwest end of the state, and so we want to thank him and pray that his business continue to prosper. Okay, but again, we're gonna go ahead and dive into this show. And before I bring my guests on, I want to first of all show you all a video of the particular uh, ex principal in question that we will be discussing tonight. Okay, so let's go up here right now and try to find this video, and I'm going to let you all listen for a minute, and then we'll come back. Okay, so let's do that now. Okay, let's do that now. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. Okay. Okay, here we go, right here. I'm thinking this is it. Yes, this is it right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play this video for you all, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. All right. So let's go up here and let's play it right now.
Months before a principal resigned after testing positive for drugs and amidst allegations he made meth on campus, newly released documents reveal that teachers had their suspicions. In the last week, the Arkansas Board of Education levied a $500 fine and suspended former Westside High School principal Michael Graham's license for 1 year. Graham resigned from his post after school officials discovered a methamphetamine lab dump site just off campus and after he failed a subsequent drug test. But in Graham's resignation letter, he cited personal reasons for stepping down. But new documents suggest he used a science lab and school supplies to make meth on campus. Amanda Hansen is live in the newsroom with the latest. Amanda.
Diana, all of this exclusive information came from documents from the school's internal investigation that we obtained. Now, a statement back on September 21st from the then assistant principal, Chris George, stated a teacher said that Graham came to her classroom during prep period and inquired about at-home activities for science enrichment for his children. While she suggested a strawberry DNA extraction, she said that he wanted to test the pH of household items and then asked for strips. Well, she gave them to him and he never returned it. Then the science department's chairperson reported finding missing glassware and white residue on the counters and floors. Graham admitted to throwing several things away in the room, but denied knowing anything about the white residue. The documents also say on September 16th, a student reported near the pond a suspicious item, later identified as a 24-inch piece of clear tubing. School officials found several clear bottles with the white powdery substance, as well as multiple cans of starter fluid, wash bottles and paper filters from the science lab, and sodium chloride from the chemical closet were also found. The security director said with his background in law enforcement, he recognized these items as parts of a meth lab. A cup with the words "Just Have Fun" actually was found to be connected to Michael Graham, tying him to the investigation. School officials also checked surveillance video and saw him at the school in September late at night. But at one point, the security cameras from the chemical storage were removed. The documents didn't say who removed them. Well, we did reach out to Westside Superintendent Scott Gaunt, who released a statement that said, in part, it was also determined that much of the scenario took place last spring and summer while the school was on COVID lockdown. So at no time were there students on campus when these activities took place. Westside has always taken the safety and well-being of our students and staff to be the most important role we play, and we will continue to do all we can to fulfill that most important mandate. Now, we reached out to Michael Graham several times about the allegations, and just Tuesday, we asked if he had anything to say about the drug investigation and the allegations that were levied against him. Graham replied, no comment. Now, there are a lot of moving parts to this story, so we broke it down section by section online. You can also read the full report, including text messages and emails, right now at KIT8.com and the Region 8 News app. For now, live in the newsroom, Amanda Hansen, Region 8 News.
Can't hear you. Tony, can you hear me? Because I can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, I was on mute.
Okay.
So my audio is back live now. And so again, I want to say thank you, Miss you go by Waters, or I just call you Tam,
Collins.
if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine.
And so Tam, I say I thank you for reaching out. As I stated, you know, I don't know if you was born here, but you're a long-time resident of Osceola, Arkansas, correct?
I was born, actually, I used to live in Luxor until I was 6 years old, and then we moved to Osceola. We had a house fire.
Okay,
and
so
we moved from Luxor to Osceola, but I was there until in my 30s, I believe, in Osceola.
And you do have family in Osceola, correct?
I do.
Okay. So let me ask you. So how did you find out that about this particular principal, you know, not just, you know, the trouble he found himself to be in, but when did you learn that this principal was possibly considered to be hired? I don't know if he is hired. I'm just using the word allegedly.
I found it out on Facebook from an educator, actually. It was posted to their page, as well as a lot of people were talking about it on her page. She is an educator out of the Osceola School District. She is now retired, but it was on her page.
Okay. So now let me ask you this. Do you have any relatives that have children that attend the Osceola School District?
I do.
So quite naturally, you concerned.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, in a move like this here, would it have made some kind of sense that perhaps a background check would have been conducted on this particular teacher? I think his name is Mr. What is it, Michael Graham?
Michael Graham.
So they either did a fact check and they saw this information, but yet and still they considered to hiring him if they hadn't already hired him, or they didn't do a fact check. And so, so what do you think? I mean, if this person is hired and they did a fact check, what does that tell you about our hiring process with our, I don't know if they have a committee that does the hiring, or it's just the school board, it's the superintendent, or a combination of all three. I don't know. But what would you say if there was no background check conducted on this particular uh, uh, person who's trying to become gainfully employed with the Osceola School District? So let's just talk hypothetical. What if there was not no background check conducted? What was your thoughts on that?
That they should have if they didn't, because you got somebody that you're entrusting your kids with, for one, and it's a safety concern. I mean, if you're not doing a background check, who's to say that he's not, like he could have been a pedophile. He could have been, not even supposed to be around children if you didn't even do a background check. He could have been one of those that retired. I mean, not retired, but resigned, before he was found guilty of something. But I mean, you have to do this. I mean, anywhere I go, they do a background check on me before I'm hired. So just like anybody, you're supposed to do a background check. Even when you get hired in these restaurants, they do they do some kind of investigation. And especially when you're working with children or working around children, you should at least do a background check on these people that you're putting in these schools that we're entrusting you with, every day. The kids are more in school, just about sometimes more than they're at home. So why not do a background check? And if they did do a background check, did they do a thorough background check? That leads you to, ask if they do a thorough one, because we read the papers, we look at the news, somebody missed that somewhere, because
well, and that the school district is also, from what we've been reading and what we've been hearing, that the school district is somewhat in a tight spot in terms of trying to, fill certain positions, certified positions and other positions as well. Do you think that this was a desperate move on behalf of the school district, if in fact they have hired this particular person? Do you think they're just so desperate that they just hiring folks and hoping that don't nobody catch on to what they're doing?
That's a possibility, because I've seen a lot of stuff that's been going on with them too in the news. All these people, all of the teachers that are leaving, the students that are leaving. So it's a possibility. I would hate to say that it is, but it's a possibility that that's probably what they've done.
Well, again, there is also, as I say, that this has been on Facebook. So I'm pretty sure there are members of the school board know that there is talk that's going on about this particular person who is hired or will be hired. Okay. So what does that go to the mind? I mean, let's go to the mindset of the school board, because the school board have to approve all these people, when they are brought before the school board monthly meeting. They got to approve this stuff. And so I don't know if they asking questions. I do know that now this is public information. So what do you say to the school board who possibly is continuing to sit on their hands and they're not asking questions. Maybe they are asking questions, but we don't know. And
Maybe
so,
not asking the
what
right
would you say to the school board right now if they are in knowledge of this particular uh, uh, person who is trying to become gainfully employed with the Osceola School District? What will you say to them if they're just sitting on their hands and they're doing nothing?
They need to do a better job of what they're doing, because like I said, it's a safety concern. You looking at somebody that's working with kids, working around children every day, and then you hire or possibly hire somebody or looking to hire this person, knowing that he has these it's not alleged, because it's proven to
Do
be
you think
true.
it's a dereliction of duty?
I believe so. Not only that, but somebody somewhere dropped the ball. Don't know how many of them dropped it, but somebody somewhere dropped the ball, especially if they're talking about hiring or then hired this guy, knowing that these charges, against him have been, found to be true. I mean, you cooking meth, you making meth, on the school grounds. I mean, come on.
Well, come to find out, I don't know if charges was ever filed. We do know
Well,
that they conducted, I think the assistant principal
mhm.
probably laid some type of investigation, and but we don't know if any charges have been filed. But here's the deal: how does a person get a $500 fine? Okay, a 500, and I understand him being suspended by the Arkansas School Board Association. I understand that part,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't think that the Arkansas School Board Association has judicial power to levy a fine
No.
against this particular principal. So how do you levy a $500 fine against a person if they hadn't been charged?
Yeah, that blew me away when I read
That
that and
don't
saw
make any
that.
sense, do it?
That makes sense at all. Like, how? And I was reading it and I see where they said that they were investigating it. Like the drug task force was investigating, but they never said anything about any charges.
No
Was brought
charge.
up.
I mean,
No
I
charges.
hadn't read the whole report yet, most of it, but I haven't
I'm
read
looking at it
anything.
now. I've
Yeah.
read over it, but it didn't say anything about,
No.
they had put any formal charges on him.
Well, I do have the 34, I think it's about 34-page investigative report that, some of it emails, text messages,
Yeah.
some real sufficient evidence, I would say,
Yeah.
that probable cause is there. Let's just put it there. There's probable
Yeah.
cause that this person should have been arrested
Yeah.
for a felony charge. You hear me?
Exactly.
Felony.
Exactly. I mean, you arrest everybody else for making meth, for selling it, cooking it, and all that. And here he was cooking it. He's tested positive for it.
Yeah,
It's a dump
exactly.
site. And
He
so
failed as a matter of fact, he failed the drug test.
the drug test, tested positive for meth. And then he got all the stuff there and he made it on the camp, on the school grounds. And then there was a dump site. But what got him, from what I'm reading, what it was is somebody saw there was a cup that was dumped out there. And they said they seen
some
that
type
cup.
of white residue, I believe.
Yeah. And they saw the cup. They saw a cup that was dumped there at the site. And the person told them that they've seen that cup somewhere, but couldn't figure out where. And it was actually at Michael Graham's lake house where they saw that cup at, because there was some more there at that lake house.
You say he had a lake house?
Yeah. Yeah. He was on the lake. He had been to the lake. I read a lot in this thing.
That's too much of a coincidence, would you say?
Yeah. Yep. Too much.
Well, I tell you, but let's just go ahead and move on. I want to show our audience before we get back into the discussion, and we're gonna also go to the board to see if they have any questions that they may want to go ahead and chime in on. But let's go ahead and show this other document right here real quick. So I'm gonna pull that up right now. Okay. So let's pull that up. And this is the document that we want to show. I guess you just got to put it on the screen right now.
Okay.
So let me go up here and do that now. Okay. Give me just a little bit and we will have this document up right now. They look so much alike. I think that's the one right there. So we're going to pull this document up right here. Okay. Now, this is the document right here where they supposedly did an investigation. Those of you who are looking on, turn your cell phone landscape, and you pretty much can go ahead and read with us. And so I'm gonna go up here and just scroll down on it. Now, this is the Westside High School. This is Chris George. I think he's the assistant principal. I think he led this investigation. Uh, and this is just, I'm just going to scram through it. What he's saying is that in all the names you see down there, what it's saying is that these are the names as to the people, to the best of his knowledge, who are the ones that would have a key to access the chemical closet during after school hours. Okay. Now, as I understand, if you heard, all of this illegal activity was taking place, allegedly illegal activity, because he was in charge, was taking place during the closure of the school, for the COVID pandemic. But these are the people, as you can see, the second one there, Michael Graham, the principal, he did have a key. Okay. It goes on to say, at no time during my investigation did anyone other than Mr. Graham have any evidence that pointed back to the possibility of them having been involved in the activities described in my previous statement. Okay. Now, let's talk about some of these things right here. We're going to get back to my guest. Okay. I entered the storage room on April the 1st, 2020, and noticed that many items were left on the counter in floor. Number one, you see right there, a hot plate had been left plugged in. It was turned it off. It had been taken from a shelf across the room and put there. Number two, there was a scale for measuring mass next to it. It too was moved from its storage place across the room. Number three, there was a bottle of chemical next to the scale that had to have come from the chemical closet. I know this because it had a ID sticker on it. Later on, I came back to school, and where the chemical had been there was a can of starter cleaner too close to the hot plate. Four, there was a filter funnel was from Mrs. Campbell's room. Number five, there was a breaker that had a pink residue, a filter paper, a pipette uh, out of place, a bottle that had, what's that, ethyl alcohol was there that should not have been there. Number six, was that number five? Number six. There was an aluminum pan in the floor that came from the other side of the storage room. Seven, there was a filter paper left on the counter that had been used, and also a box of it that had been removed from its storage location. There was a mortar, number eight, and pestle for grinding substance out of place. It had a pink power substance on it. There was an empty jug of distilled water left on the counter. Nine, there was a filter paper with pink residue on it in the floor. I still have it. We can just go on and on and on and read this here, but there is enough evidence here in terms of all the items, content, or whatever that will be needed. I'm told. I don't know how to cook meth. I'm just saying that some of the things that we're reading right now are all the items that would be needed for one to make meth. Okay.
Did you read 13?
13. I also had a small pillow. Oh man. He don't get comfortable. Yeah. I also had a small pillow in my desk drawer that was on the rug in my front storage room, and it looked like someone had taken a nap there because a space had been cleared out. Man. Oh Lord. I went back on April the 13th, 2020, and found a can of starter fluid and a Kroger's bag next to the scale and hot plate. I took a picture and took the bag off and took another picture. I threw the starter fluid can away. I took everything off the counter except the items that had been placed it there by someone else. I was hoping they would come in and clean up their mess. When we came back to school, I put all the things away and took all the mortar and the pestle to Mrs. Smith and the chemical equipment to Mrs. Campbell, Sandy Nichols, Westside High School science teacher. Now,
Mm.
what do you think about that? I mean, we have, let me get rid of this here. We have uh, I mean, you read it. I mean, you saw it as well as
Yeah.
I did, as well as the audience. Seemed like to me, not only was it premeditated, but the act was carried out.
Yeah. I
And
guess
there's no evidence. I mean, excuse me, there's no charges.
there's no charges. You got plenty of evidence
$500 fine and license
Mhm.
suspended for 1 year.
for 1 year.
Should this man be teaching in any school?
He shouldn't be teaching. No, he needs to be in jail.
Thank you. That's a felony.
Yeah.
But some people get the breaks.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we can use our imagination as to why that is so,
Yeah.
you know, but I'll leave that alone. That'll be another topic,
Yeah.
you know, in terms of the disparity in people being charged
Mhm.
for crimes. Ordinarily, other people are given a slap on the wrist. But again, so now that this teacher, ex-principal that is back, you know, like I say, this happened in 21. Let's
Mhm.
put his resume up there
Well,
as well.
it started in 20, but
Yes, exactly.
yeah, started in 20, so he's been doing it a while.
At least that's when they became suspicious. There's no telling.
Yeah.
There's no telling how long he's been
How
doing it.
long?
But
Yeah.
they're right. They called him in 20. We got
Yeah.
one other. We just want to show the people his resume that he did submit it to the Osceola School District. So that's why I am saying that perhaps the school, Osceola School District, might be considered hiring him if they hadn't already. I don't know. I haven't gotten that confirmation. But let's put his resume up right quick, okay? Let me try to find it right now. We do have his resume. Let me get rid of that first. Let me go in there. We're gonna put up his resume because he did submit a resume to the Osceola School District.
His
And
lake
so we're
home
going to
is in
pull that up
Henderson.
right now.
Yeah, his lake home is in Henderson.
Pardon me?
His lake home is in Henderson.
Okay. I'm hoping I got the right one here. If not, we'll come back. Let's see if I got the right one. No, that's not the right one. Give me just one more. Let's try it one more time. We'll get this. Just want to show his resume. I just want to connect the links here to show that he did submit a resume to the Osceola School District. Okay, now I'm going to say, this is the one. Yeah, I'm going to say this is the one. I'm thinking that's it. Okay. Look like I got the same stuff here, though. That's the same one.
Yeah, it is.
Same one. Gonna try it one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, one more time. See if we can pull up that resume. What I did, I got it out of sync. I had everything ready to go. So here we go. We're gonna try it again. Okay. Okay, now I want to say this is it. Okay.
Well, I don't know.
Same one?
Yeah. Same one.
Okay, get it together, Tony. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all wait. We're gonna try it one more time. If I don't get it this time, we're just gonna move on. But take my word, he did submit a resume, okay? Take my word, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, take my word. Okay. Here we go. I found it right here. I found it. All right. So
Yeah.
now, but this is This is his resume right here. Let me go up here and scroll down. Michael J. Graham. They got a statue over there, personal contact information. I think that's only for the sake of redaction. Uh,
Mhm.
Senior leader and development trainer with over 15 years in various leadership roles, design and delivering education, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's go down to the bottom and work our way up. I'm thinking that's probably where uh, his first job was, where was that? 2014 to 2016, Arkansas Tech University, Russellville, education administrative specialist, master's degree, education leadership, chemistry, bachelor of arts, um, Harrisburg Middle School. He was a teacher from 2006 2013, as well as responsible for every aspect of students learning and school experience and professional development, faculty and staff management. And so this is his resume. We're just going to go ahead and move on through it. For those of you,
Wait a minute. Go back up. Go to
go
his
up.
Westside. Right there. Stop right there. See at the bottom where he says he producing a priceless product that empowers the whole community.
Okay. Okay, what about now?
On his resume at the bottom right there where it says producing a priceless product. I think that's funny though, that empowers the whole community.
Reducing the, I don't see that.
Right here on the west side, right there. When you went up too far. Right there, the last line right there that says producing a priceless product that empowers the whole community.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. I think we can read between the lines on that one.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, producing a priceless product that empowers the whole community. Yeah, we can believe that. I would say that, you know, he on point in that statement.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this is his resume, ladies and gentlemen. And you get time, you can also just go and go back and read it, okay? But that is his resume, so we can close that out right now as well, okay? So, but anyway, let me close some of this stuff out. There is so much other stuff in here, you all, that I can show you in terms of what happened, but again, it's too many pages. It's about 34 pages, and it's just too many for me to really get into. So we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk a little bit more on this subject, and then we're gonna go ahead and go to our board. But let's go to our board right now because Lord, we got 42 comments over here. Never saw that many.
Yeah, it's a hot topic.
Yeah, 42 comments. So let me go to the board to see if anybody have a question. We'll get to the statements later, but let's see if they got any questions over here. Let me see. Let's start up top here. Okay, I'm gonna say my hellos later, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, can't even trust the school. Okay, is that a question? Can't even trust the school with your kids anymore. That's from Mrs. Johnson. How you doing, Miss Johnson? Okay. What else do we have here? I got my mic on. Somebody said they couldn't hear. I must have had my mic off at that time.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you.
And like I said, everyone else is just saying hello. Miss Robinson, how you doing? We'll get together, Miss Robinson. Brother Tuck, how you doing? Okay. We just got some people on here saying hello. We're trying to find a question, though. A question. Let's try to find a question. It's going on to get where we are. What is this? Just a question? It's going to get to where we are going to have to homeschool them so we know they are safe. I will agree. Okay, we got a question here, I believe. Why we shouldn't be surprised. This is Wales. We shouldn't be surprised when Osceola allows sex offenders to come to the school as long as they have kids at the school. Okay. Wow. Who is this? It's like that now. Brandon William Johnson. Okay. Let's see if we can find another find another question in here. The school board. Okay, someone said something here. This is Miss Gregory. The school board didn't do their job. The look of it. I think that's what we was discussing,
Yeah.
Miss Gregory. So true. Um, this is how you doing, Sister Anderson? Oh my God, what's next? Come on now. What's next? Come
Mm,
on now.
mm.
Looking for another question. Looking for another question. He had already cooked it. Yeah, he doing some cooking.
It cooked
He
a lot.
cooking good. Had a pillow
You
too. Took a nap.
It went to
Cook
sleep. Went
some.
to
Cook
sleep.
some now and cook some later when he wake up.
We
Yeah.
got real
But
comfortable.
anyway, it's not really what you call. I mean, it's still a serious issue, but you
Yeah.
can't help but to laugh.
But the laugh at it.
You know. This is Miss Kendra Deacons. Hello. Uh, what is this? Tony, you're welcome to discuss a bit of my case too. Uh, I will hit on that when I wrap this up, Miss Deacon. Uh, who is this here? This is Crystal. Oh, she just tagging someone.
Somebody.
I'm trying to find a question. If any of you have any questions for my guests or questions for myself, please let me know. Who had a key? Okay, I'm looking for a question, you all. I'll come back and we'll do all the rest of it later. And haven't had been charging. I need a pen. Looking for a question. We got a lot of statements. Looking for a question. Okay, we're going to come back and see if anyone have a question later on. Right now, I don't see any. Who is this here? That's Miss Tiffany McAdory. So we'll come back. Okay. But right now, I don't see any other questions. So let's go ahead and allow you, Tam. Now, again, once this person was reinstated, wouldn't you think that wherever he's hired at, in particular the school, wouldn't you think that they would have him to submit to a drug test?
Yeah, because everybody else is doing it, so why not the teacher? If you're hiring them for employment, there's two things that you have to do for an employment. That's a background check and that's a drug test. And then they verify, do references or whatever, about your previous experience and stuff like that. But somebody somewhere didn't do something.
Okay. And then again, even let's just say this particular person hired. Should it be based on conditions in terms of, due to the fact he did test positive for drugs and it was allegedly with all the evidence that just a piece of it that I just read to the audience? Wouldn't you say that in itself would warrant to him at least upon hiring for the next 6 months, him being subjected to a random drug testing? Should that also be a condition?
You would think so, but I think when you do that, then he could say that they violating his civil rights or whatever, or violating his rights when they start doing that. So it's probably gonna
But the evidence is there, though. I mean, the evidence is there. He tested positive.
He tested positive, but
it's no different than on our job. When they did random drug testing, they just can't come out there and just pick Tony every week. You got to be a whole lot of other folks that's in that little mixture or whatever. And so
look, it should,
there is evidence, more than enough evidence there. As far as the condition that he should go through some type of random drug testing. We did that on our job. When a person actually was found to have been a user of drugs, it's one thing about my old job. They work with the employee, send them to get help or what have you. They pay for everything. But when they come back with the understanding that they are subject to a random drug test. Anytime. And so I don't know if Osceola did hire this person, if that's going to be some of the one of the conditions that is that this particular teacher should subject himself to random drug testing. And so I think we don't hit home just about on all the topics that I want to talk about in terms of his drug testing, being a failing his drug test, We read some of the evidence in terms of the investigation that was conducted, I think, by the assistant principal. Talked about the school board, you know, levying a $500 fine and suspending his license for 1 year.
Yeah.
And so the only thing we hadn't discussed it is the parents and the students. Is
Yeah.
this fair to them?
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Because you just getting subpar people to teach your children, and you're wondering why a lot of the parents are pulling their kids out of school and sending them to other schools.
Okay. And also, let me see. Someone, let me see over here. I think is this Mrs. Oh, that's brother Hamilton. He's just making a comment there. Now, Miss Deacons, she said yes, they hired him. So she
Wow.
pretty much, I'm pretty sure she done got some confirmation from somewhere, and so she's saying that they did hire him. I do know that I did get his resume, which you all saw that, and so I guess he is hired. But yet and still, I'm waiting to hear from. I'm waiting to hear from the superintendent because I really don't know if, in fact, that he has been hired. I don't know what this is. It's 50. That's something else that we're doing there. Let's try to get that off as well. We get a lot of other stuff on here. Okay, now what does that keep coming back up? Well, anyway, let me go to my banner and get this off. That's where that's at right there. But anyway, so let me just go ahead and turn it back over to you, Tam, and and let you go ahead and close out on this thing. What do you recommend? I know, like I say, this is your home, Osceola, as well. What do you recommend to the school board and to the superintendent at this point in terms of Miss Dickens said he's been hired?
They need to go back and look over that. But I think what's going to happen, I think they done probably dug themselves into a hole, because if they try to fire him or whatever, based on, the allegations and he hadn't been charged with anything, that he could possibly sue him. Who knows? You know how these teachers do, or, these people do, like on the law enforcement, sue you if you try to fire if they hired you or whatever. But I think the school board should have did their due diligence and checked into this thoroughly before they hired this guy. Not only with a background drug test, he possibly passed the drug test, who knows? But they should have been thorough in this, especially when you're dealing with somebody that's going to be dealing with kids, at least 8 hours a day. We trust them with our children, because we send them to school, and then you got somebody that's really been found, to not even suspected, but found to have done all this stuff. And then nothing was done to him about it. Only his license was suspended for a year, and then he got a $500 fine that I don't even know if, like you said, if they could even issue him a $500 fine. But all of this stuff going on against this guy, and then you hire him, and then you wonder why the parents are taking their kids out of your school district and sending them to other districts. They got to do something. They got to do better. Osceola got to do better.
Well, hopefully they will. With so many other things going on, shortage of teachers, certified teachers is a real hot topic. As you indicated, parents putting their kids out school, and they just recently had a town hall, not town hall, but they had a special meeting there discussing the school choice, to where Osceola, as I understand, have selected the all around school year schedule. And so there's a lot going on in Osceola, a whole lot going on. And hopefully, that's our hometown. We continue to pray for our families, our friends, or what have you, just the whole city of Osceola as a whole. And so I want to thank you for coming on.
Welcome.
Tam, as always, you always give good insight when you come on. You're very knowledgeable of the issues that we are discussing. And so that's why I like to always reach out to you and have you as a guest. And again, don't be a stranger. Come back to Seals, okay?
I will.
All right. Peace and love, my sister.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that that was the end of the show. I hope you um got an understanding as to what's going on with the Osceola School District in terms of this last employee that has been hired. I said allegedly, but it's been confirmed by uh, a viewer that this teacher, this particular person, Michael Graham, was hired. For those of you just tuning in, Michael Graham is an ex uh, high school principal for Westside High School in Jonesboro. It has been alleged that he was making meth at the school um, science lab, leaving all different types of equipment out, certain substance or whatever, until someone took notice of that and became suspicious, and they opened up an investigation. Of course, we don't believe any charges have been filed, but at the same time, if no charges have been filed, then how does the Arkansas School Board Association has the judicial power to levy a fine, a $500 fine, against a particular person who has not been charged? It just don't make any sense. So that's another topic for us to investigate. Uh, and so before I close out, look like we got some more comments over here. Just want to see what they are before I move on. Um, as I say, Miss Deacon said that they hired him. Um Victor Gregory, what's this here? Before I move on. Um, as I say, sad Osceola. Um, right now it's sad Osceola School District. Let me see. Sad Osceola School District is sad. The city council, and let's see what they are going to do about this situation. I think that's in the hands of the Osceola School District. I don't think the council have any judicial power over the school district. Uh, you're right. They dropped the ball. Do we have any other comments? Kids, period. Who is this here? This is yes, it's in the newspaper. Miss Dickens said it was also in the newspaper, and so I'm guessing she referring to the Osceola Times. And then again, maybe it may be the what's that paper in Jonesboro, Sons or whatever. But anyway, those are the comments, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to say, going back to initially, what we was talking about was about actually what we was talking about to start the show was that the Osceola school principal consider hiring Jonesboro ex high school principal who allegedly made meth in the school science lab. And at the same time, we also talked about the Osceola chief of police. And what I didn't post was that um, most of you know ex-police officer Patrick Washington did file a lawsuit against the city, not against the city. He found that actually he suing two individuals personally, which is uh, ex-police chief Jerry Hamilton, I think is his first name, Chief Hamilton, and Stanford. I don't know if he's the assistant chief or what, but most of you know him. Stanford is his name. Those are the two individuals named in the lawsuit. Uh, of course, there's also some concerns to where a particular young lady whose name is Mrs. Kendra Deacons, her name came up quite a bit in the lawsuit. No one reached out to her, the Jonesboro Sons or Osceola Times, whoever else chime in on this writing articles as it relates to this lawsuit. Uh, they use Miss Deacon's name unfairly because the lawsuit has nothing to do with Miss Kendra Deacons. Okay, the lawsuit has nothing to do with her, and so for them to bring her name up, making certain allegations in regards to Mr. Washington lawsuit. Mr. Washington lawsuit is about discrimination. It's not about Miss Kendra Deacons. It's about discrimination. So I'm still trying to understand, why is the newspaper uh, finding a need to put Miss Kendra Deacon name out there, slandering her name, causing her more embarrassment uh, than one can imagine. Don't think that's fair. And so hopefully uh, Osceola Times and Jonesboro Sun, they will go back and conduct their facts finding. And I'm sure when they do that, they will understand that this lawsuit is not about Kendra Deacons. I read the lawsuit. It's about 10 pages. I visited the Arkansas, not the Arkansas Court Connect. That's a database to where they have all the cases stored that has been filed with the Osceola uh, Circuit County Court. I did read that. It's like I say, I think it's about 10 pages. And in reading that lawsuit was about discrimination. It wasn't about Miss Kendra Deacon, although her name is all through the documents. Okay. You cannot file a discrimination lawsuit and naming a black woman uh, throughout the filing of this lawsuit. I mean, there's no connection. And for many of you who know how the civil process of litigation work, in terms of filing a racial lawsuit, there's elements that must be met. Okay, those elements must be present in order to bring a discrimination lawsuit. Miss Kendra Dickens is not part of the elements that must be present. Okay, it's a protected class. You know, whatever wrong that was done, they treated you differently as opposed to your, let's just say, your white counterpart. They stuck it to you, but the same infraction that they stuck it to you, that they gave, say, the white employee, they gave that employee a slap on the wrist. Okay, that's where you're showing a disparity, a indifference, from one particular person to another. Okay, and the person must have suffered some type of harm. All right, those are just some of the elements that I'm naming. uh this lawsuit has nothing to do with Miss Deacons, and so hopefully they will keep Miss Deacons' name out of the lawsuit. This lawsuit was filed. I read the whole 10 pages, and I will say this here: in the manner that the lawsuit is filed right now, in terms of a discrimination case, it don't hold water. I'm just being frank. It don't hold water. There has been nothing in this lawsuit that I read that you can point to say that, yes, there is discrimination here. Number one, two things are either incorrect or inconsistent. One being, this lawsuit also named two other people. It named Joe Harris. And guess what they said about Joe Harris? The attorney named Joe Harris as being a city council member. Get that. What is this attorney looking at when he drafted this complaint? Many of you know Joe Harris is not a city council person. He's not a city council person. So why is that being stated in the complaint? Another thing, or another name that was mentioned in the complaint, was Municipal Judge Catherine Dean. The lawsuit alleged that Miss Catherine Dean, she was a county prosecutor. That's incorrect. Miss Catherine Dean, as you all know, is the city municipal judge. So this lawsuit is going to have to be amended, of course, to make those corrections. These two that I just named. And if this lawsuit is going to hold any kind of weight or have any kind of teeth, it must meet the elements of racial discrimination. So there's more to talk about that, of course, and we'll be checking back in with you more. That's basically all I have to say about that particular case as well. I'm going back to my board and to see because, oh man, we're right at the 1 hour, y'all. So I'm gonna have to close it out. Um, but I don't know if we have any more. That's Mr. Gregory saying a slap on the wrist, of course. Ms. Stinker was that absolutely. Um, this Miss Deacons, she said, my case is totally separate from this concerning him. Patrick violated my civil rights. And so that's Miss Deacons, you all. You know, she's a little disturbed about them using her name so loosely in the paper, that it be the Osceola Times or that it be the Jonesboro Suns. She felt like her permission, should have been requested. And so she didn't appreciate her name being used without her permission in the paper like that. Okay, because this case has nothing to do with the discrimination. As she indicated, she have her own legal issues with the plaintiff, Mr. Washington, and Mr. Washington have his own legal issues with the two people he named, uh, ex-police chief Jerry Hamilton and assistant chief Stanford. I forget his first name. Then again, that may be his first name. I don't know which one, but it's Stanford, I know. But anyway, and so she don't appreciate her name being used loosely like that. She goes on to say, he won't win. She meant won't. He won't win. And so that's pretty much also, she explained she's just been stressed out. And on top of that, to read the newspaper with her name being mentioned, throughout the pages, it just sort of just stressed her out even more, and being frustrated at the same time. So I can understand that. We have one more here. What is that? I don't blame her. Okay. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it seems like that's all the issue. I mean, all the comments, and I'm hoping that you all have enjoyed my guest. And I will say this here to you concerned parents. Please, if you know your school board member, call them. Express your concerns. If you don't know your school board member, find out. You can go down to the county courthouse, give them your address where you live, and they can help you. They can tell you exactly who is your school board member. Okay? So please reach out to your school board reps. I'm not asking you to go and bite their head off. I'm asking you to call them, be respectful in speaking with them. And at the same time, they need to show that same respect. School board members, you can't wear that chip on your shoulder. How dare parents question your decisions? I mean, you work for the parents. And so please, let's both, on both sides, that is, let's be respectful. Okay. Let's be respectful. We don't want another one of those issues to where parents is going speaking to their school board reps, and they end up being slapped with a harassment charge or whatever, and now you're going through this old court mess again. We don't need none of that. We grown folks, concerned folks, intelligent folks, and so therefore we ought to be able to talk to each other in a respectable manner. Okay, but that's all we have, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say, catch me Friday. You hear me? Catch me Friday. I got another special broadcast coming this Friday. I will have an attorney coming on the show. This attorney will speak on the topic prosecutory misconduct. Okay, so we're going to talk about those things. So if any of you have anything you want to share when we kick that show off Friday, please tune in. All right. And so that's all I have, ladies and gentlemen. And do we have any more comments over here? Who is that? God do not like ugly. He certainly don't. God do not like ugly. It's like karma. What goes around comes around. Okay. All right. What goes around comes around. Was that or put in jail? But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have. Again, I want you all to again join me again, as I indicated. Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testify. We will be having another special broadcast this coming Friday. I'm gonna try to kick it off at 6:00 p.m. Okay, so please do catch me, and please do go to my Facebook, my YouTube, and subscribe. Okay, subscribe and do please share this video. Until then, I want to say to you all, peace and love, and good night.